Hi guys, Mike here from PA Brews News ManiacsMeat podcast. Today, Paul and I are going to be watching the Eerie Midnight Horror Show. We're doing a little bit of a double feature. So we're doing this first where I'm just going to talk. I haven't seen this one. So it's a fresh meat podcast. I'm going to just kind of give my thoughts and what I expect out of this, being that Paul's the one showing it to me. And being that Paul's the one that's showing it to me, I expect it to be just full of nudity and gore, honestly, because that's the way Paul likes them. I just kind of gave a brief overview of the back and the things that stuck out to me. It said sexploitation Eurotrash classic, inspired by the success of The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby, which to me just sounded on point for Paul. So I suppose I have, this is the best way to describe this, very high, low expectations.
There you go.
I think is the best way to
Let me
phrase
see
it.
it. Hold that up for a second.
There we go, the Eerie Midnight Horror Show. And we're going to give this a watch, and when we're done with it, you'll be talking with me and Paul to give our thoughts.
All right. And
All right, we're back.
we're back.
Paul's going to sit with me now.
Hi, I'm Paul.
ManiacsMeat.
ManiacsMeat podcast. Yeah. The Eerie Midnight Horror Show from 1974. Italian goodness based off the success that Rosemary Baby and The Exorcist had back in the day. Much like a lot of Italian horror films are based off successful films from other countries, mostly USA. I can't say always, but a lot of times. Me personally, I prefer, except for I think the one that you can basically say is Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, and Jaws. Those are my three. I prefer the originals, but generally speaking, I really enjoy Italian ripoff films.
I know you do like the Italian.
Yes, I really, really do. And this one, again, I like more than The Exorcist. I like this film. It's a fun little film. So what do you think first time watching?
I thought it was enjoyable, which kind of surprised me. I enjoyed the exploitation films and the Italian style stuff for what it is, usually more than for the actual
film
itself.
The concept more so than the evidence.
This I actually enjoyed quite a bit. I think the only thing that would have made me enjoy it more on a personal level was if rather than follow the girl in it, it would have followed the priest in it. I think I would have liked that story more. Because he doesn't come in until about halfway into the movie or so.
Right. Almost like, I wonder if you could almost, if there was a way where the priest was almost predicting this happening and noticing signs and getting ready for it and stuff
something
like
along those lines. Because they did even hint
more like a 50-50 instead of like that 80-20.
They hinted at it that he felt her coming.
Because he was in there and he's like, oh, something's happening.
But I thought it would. I think I would have enjoyed it more if it would have followed him. But I mean, that's just like I think a personal note.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, the end of the movie would have remained the same. But I feel like I would have been more vested in the character of the priest as opposed to the character of the possessed girl.
Yeah. I think personally, this probably could have got maybe film-wise, I think about 8 minutes cut out of it to make it a little bit faster so it didn't drag on a little bit.
And it's already not very long.
It's not very long at all. But like, I just think if we could have, in the 80-minute mark, I think it would have been a little bit better because there are a couple of times where it drags on a little bit. Yeah. But I like the filmography. I like the soundtracks. Yeah. I like the atmosphere of the film, and I like the overall, kind of concept.
Yeah, the feel was good. I mean, there was a lot of it I liked. It wasn't very. I often find with like these style of films, you're watching them and you're just like, well, why the hell are they doing that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Or why is this even happening? This cut a lot of that stuff out. Right. I didn't feel like that was an issue in.
Well,
this,
I like it like right in the beginning, right there. There was the scene where she has her first, epidemic kind of
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
with this phenomenon going on. And she says, "Carlos, get who right away."
Yeah.
And then the next scene is they're sitting next to each other.
They're
It wasn't him getting off the phone, getting a suit, running into a car,
Yeah.
talking to 3 different people. It was literally there, next scene.
Um,
One of the reasons why I love, again, I don't like Star Wars. Star Wars sucks, big donkey dog.
Mhm.
I love Star Crash.
Yeah.
It is, they're in a spaceship, and Kaylin Monroe's really hot. And she goes, "Look, another spaceship." The next thing she know, she's in the air. The next thing you know, she's on the spaceship. No
Yeah.
docking, no bullshit, no this, no that. This is what this film does.
um,
Cuts right to the chase.
it did very much. It very clearly had influence from The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Very
Yes.
obvious. But yeah, I guess, like, honestly, the way they kind of describe it on the back is fairly accurate, but it was very much like The Exorcist mixed with an exploitation
Softcore
film.
porn.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to say that the Satan in here is very jovial.
Very jovial.
He is malicious and sexy.
Yeah.
Like he's like that role. I'm
More-
that kind of,
I'll say this. This is one, like, it does kind of have up on The Exorcist, I think. I mean, The Exorcist is a classic, but like The Exorcist, though I've always enjoyed it, it always felt stagnant.
Yeah.
It feels stationary.
Mm-hmm. It's one girl, one room.
Yeah, one girl, one room.
Yeah.
Pretty much the entire.
it's not
time.
two
That's
girls, one
really
cup.
all you're talking about.
It's
Yeah.
one girl, one room.
This, they do a little bit of like
moving around.
There's a lot of like.
Well, and the thing is, the one thing I like about this is the more you get her into a religious setting, the more she freaks out.
Yeah, there were aspects of this I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Would I watch it again? I don't know. Probably not. But I mean, I'm not.
You're not hating on it.
No, not by any means. I wouldn't be mad if, like, I was hanging out and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna put on the."
I've had this for
Like,
about
cool.
10 years now, 13 years now, and this is the 3rd time I've watched it.
Yeah, and you really like it.
And I really like
so
it.
There you go.
So there you go. Yeah, it's one of those kind of deals because there's other films. I really like the vibe that a lot of these films give off, the sexy vibe, but I really like the occultist vibe.
Yeah,
they get when they're in the cavern with all the seances.
Yeah,
and
with
a
all
lot
that
of Paul
stuff, yeah.
Naschy films, the Spanish films, they have those vibes as well,
mm-hmm.
and I really get into that. I think she did a good job as like the possessed girl, especially that vomit scene. The fake teeth. And
and it was funny because the vomit scene actually really it reminded me a lot of Exorcist.
Yeah,
but like they were very clearly like trying to kind of.
There was another one is Magdalena, which is another rip off Exorcist film, where she's throwing up like mice and like snakes and stuff. It's super cool. You know what I mean? This is cool. This is sexy. This is sexy where obviously The Exorcist can't be sexy.
Not so much a throwing up scene, unless you're Paul. He might have.
Well, I like that. Yeah, and scat. But like this, The Exorcist has racy comments,
mm-hmm.
but not sexy comments. You know what I mean? Like this is sexy, but also disgusting. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. So
I mean, there is a very clear line.
Well,
I don't know if it's because it's Italian or not, but there's a very clear line between The Exorcist and this. And though this was very clearly influenced and based off of The Exorcist, there is a very distinct separation of the two movies.
Right. The father, I did think in the film. I think the father really stood out as a good, like a very concerned father.
Yeah.
The mother had her own sexual deviant tendencies, which the father was blaming on why she was being freaked.
Yeah.
You know? And maybe, and let's just say, that might be exactly why that was triggered.
Yeah. I mean,
that bloodline. You know what I mean? That
absolutely.
Kind of thing, so
I feel like you would actually benefit a lot if you knew Italian and were able to watch this in the actual Italian.
Now this was an English dub too, so it would be really interesting to see what an actual Italian version of this would be.
I feel like you would get more out of the lines. Mm-hmm. I think the performances would feel
more genuine.
Yeah, better.
Yeah,
like they would just be better.
I mean, and
they were bad. But...
And she gets a little crazy. I mean, she rips bars off walls. She rips chains off. And beats the shit out of people. So I like it. You know,
some of the makeup effects I enjoyed. Some of them I didn't. I didn't like.
So what'd you say? The Eerie Midnight Horror Show. I like to put the 2 E's. Eerie Midnight Horror Show. ravished, violated, possessed by Satan. Would you consider that an accurate description?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is this this an as advertised film?
I do feel like it's an as advertised film.
There you go.
If I saw that, if you like exploitation films, you would definitely want this. Like you would definitely want this.
This is one of the trashy goodnesses that you should have.
Because I don't have a lot of exploitation films. Now, and if I had that, I wouldn't be upset.
Now we're talking. We're gonna do 3 ratings here because we usually do 2 ratings at least. But because this is what we call Euro trash. Mm-hmm. So we're in Trashy Tuesday area.
That's true.
So we're gonna have a normal, a horror fan, and a trashy.
Okay.
So what's your overall? I'd give this like a 3.
For like a normal person?
For a normal person.
I'd honestly... well, here's my question for you.
Okay.
What do you think a normal person would consider The Exorcist?
The normal would consider The Exorcist like a 5 or 6.
Yeah. Because I would consider this like a 4, 5, or a 5 for a normal person. Because
really?
I would consider it below The Exorcist.
But not too much below
But not so much below it that they would be like...
I
think if I think
so
to be fair, I think a normal person like enjoys The Exorcist because it's The Exorcist and it's a classic and all that stuff. But if they genuinely like The Exorcist, like I thought it was a fine movie, I don't think this would be that far below it.
Okay, so I'm going a little harsher, so with a 3,
which is kind of surprising. Well,
I don't have faith in normal people.
Well, I'll say 4 or 5.
So that's kind of where I was. So we're going 4 on that one.
Yeah, we have 4.
Okay, horror fan.
Horror fan?
People rate normal horror fans, uneducated fanboys. Most people rate The Exorcist like a 9 or a 10.
See, I like The Exorcist, but it depends on what kind. First off, there's a lot of nuance in rating The Exorcist.
Exactly, but a lot of people do rate The Exorcist as pretty much, as far as the exorcism genre, pretty much on the tops. Yeah. So where would you put this one? Where would you think The Exorcist would go? We didn't watch The Exorcist, but where do you think that goes? On the normal,
on a normal horror fan?
Scene. I would say most people will hover around the 8s.
I'd say 7.
7, 8s?
Yeah.
So where would this go on the normal horror scale? I would say 6.
Yeah, I was going to say 6.
I think a normal horror fan would enjoy this.
Yeah, I think they would like it.
They maybe never watch it again.
Yeah, I think they would watch it and be like, that was fine. I'm glad I watched it. Yeah. Good night. Good movie.
Now, here's where we're going to flip the script a little bit. Trash. In the trashy, The Exorcist drops down a lot, and this one goes up a lot.
Yeah, but you know what's surprising is that's not as trashy as I was expecting.
No, it isn't. And there's other ones that are trashier.
For an exploitation film, and for one that you brought over.
I know, but I'm not going to go right into the Antichrist where she fucking tongue punches a goat's asshole. I'm not going right there, but there is another one that we'll bring over later.
But as far as like trash level goes, oh jeez, 5?
5. Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
Like I'm not even sure about that.
I'm pushing like 7.
Really?
I'm pushing 7, so 6. So if you look at this right now, we got a 4. Was it a 4, 6, and a 6?
I think so. Yeah.
So overall, that's pretty good.
5.
Yeah. Let's go.
Overall.
Let's go 5.
Tallied ratings.
Let's go 5s across the board. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, if you did 5s across the board with this film, those are fucking good scores.
It's one that I don't think any person would be super upset that they watch.
Yeah. This is your Yingling.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's your Yingling of exploitation films.
If you had a bunch of random shitty films and this was on the list, you'd be like, well, I'll just put that in.
Yeah, it's your Yingling of exploitation films.
Oh my god.
Like, there's just enough of the
to make everybody
exploitation
happy.
Stuff to make you happy.
There's enough horror.
Just enough gore to make you happy.
There's enough sex.
Yeah, actual horror.
This is
the acting is fine. The it's not overly dark.
The acting
camera
is good.
work is fine.
Yeah, the
script isn't terrible.
There's no overacting in this.
No.
Everything's pretty much on point.
You know what? I think that's a very great way to put it. It is the Yingling of
exploitation exorcist films.
Yeah, because it really is. It was fine across the board. I think everybody would be like if you got to the party and they're like, "You got beer?" Like, "Yeah, what do you got?" Yingling, like, all right. And you're not gonna be upset about it. So if you got to the party,
if the party had the Cramps on the radio, you had Yingling flowing, and this on the TV, you would be a happy camper.
Yeah. I really like the Cramps though.
I
so
know. The Cramps are
that would actually pump it up a little bit higher
more?
for me. But
Yeah.
but yeah, you're right. Like if I went to like we're gonna watch a movie, like, oh cool, you guys got movies and everything. Like, yeah, we got this. I'd be like,
all
right.
talking about parties,
Yeah.
talking about Yinling, talking about substandard music. We're like 976 Evil in this is just me. Like I 967. That's a great party film. You just put it on.
Absolutely. I agree.
This is one of those.
It's one of those great things to have it in the background. Like it's good enough
And
you're just
everybody
like,
in the room can enjoy
You're
it.
fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think that, and I honestly, and it kind of surprised me. I think this movie would be fine for your avid horror fan to your like Joe Schmo
or Die Hard.
Yeah, wherever you're wherever you're out on that horror spectrum.
And actually, if you are Joe Schmo and you pop this in, you're gonna get kudos from the diehards.
That's true.
Like,
you will because like I checked out this movie. They're gonna be like,
I thought I didn't like you, but I like.
Yeah,
you
you're gonna surprise them.
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
I thought it was
show your class.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's nice. Well, the Eerie Midnight Horror Show. This has been Paul
and Mike.
Here we go, Maniacs Meat Podcast. We'll see you next time for Midnight Movie Massacre. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now watch the magic finger. It's coming. Ooh, ooh, ooh.